In my last video, I took a deeper look into the nature argument when it comes to a person's talent in sport. We found that genetics can influence a person's physical and biological capabilities, the main ones being gender, height, skeletal muscle composition, and VO2 max. However, in this video I'm going to have a look at the other side of the nature versus nurture debate when it comes to talent. The nurture argument comes from Watson, 1924, who believed no matter someone's genetics, they still need good training to become the best they can. So let's investigate the nurture argument. Someone who advocated for the nurture argument was Ericsson, 2009, who believed that performance is constrained not by genetic or innate factors, but by the engagement in deliberate practice and training during optimal periods of development. In 1993, Ericsson et al. Did a study into violinists. They found no biological differences between the musicians which made them more or less talented. The only difference that was found was the most talented had participated in a higher amount of deliberate practice, especially at a younger age. This leads us to believe deliberate practice is a massive contributing factor to talent. The most talented violinist practiced for over 10,000 hours, 65% more than the least talented. Ericsson et al. 1993 described deliberate practice as not simply training, but the engagement of specific forms of practice that is needed for achievement of expertise. And as Baker, Côté and Deakin 2005 describe, this includes working on weaknesses that are required in specific sports, even though they are not the most enjoyable, activities that require effort and concentration, and activities that don't lead to immediate social or financial reward. In 2012, Ericsson and Moxley stated that deliberate practice is the way aspiring, talented performers find ways to change their current attainable maximal performance by training to improve the mediating mechanisms of performance. Effective deliberate practice requires that the performer tries to improve ability on tasks that are initially outside the current realm of reliable performance. This will ensure improvement. However, the task cannot be too far out of an athlete's current performance level, because if improvement on the targeted characteristic is not achieved within a limited number of hours of practice, the performer will be discouraged. An example of deliberate practice in rugby would be when players go from tag rugby to full contact rugby. During this period, the child has already learnt defensive structure during tag rugby. So now, to become a better player, they will learn the most effective way to tackle. This is deliberate practice, as it is not too far out of the player's comfort zone. However, it is enough to see a clear improvement. The effect of deliberate practice can be described through Pusick et al. 2012 research into experience curves. The research found after enough deliberate practice, an athlete will become competent at a skill, and they will continue to improve it if they continue to train. However, if the athlete stops training, their competency in that skill will start to drop slightly. But due to the amount of practice the athlete has done, a small refresher session of that skill will raise their competency massively, due to them doing a huge amount of deliberate practice. Due to the high amount and intensity that is required for an athlete to perform deliberate practice, Gould et al. 2002 states that it is both physically and mentally challenging, which in turn means an adequate amount of recovery time is required to ensure there is no burnout from the athlete. So to conclude the nature versus nurture videos, I believe that genetics play a small part in the making of a talented sports person. The genetic advantages prove a good foundation for some athletes, but if they do not put in the hours in doing deliberate practice, they will not become a talented individual in their desired sport. Thanks for watching.